Hi guys, welcome back to the Baking with the Vanilla Pod, and today we're going to do French macaron cookies. So it's a very simple recipe, don't be afraid to try this at home. The ingredients required for these are 35 grams of castor sugar, 150 grams icing sugar, 75 grams of ground almonds, and 70 grams or 2 medium-sized egg whites. The equipment required to make these French macarons are a bowl, a sieve, and I'm using this macaron sheet, but you don't need to use this. You can just use a baking paper and line it on a tray and use a cookie cutter in case you want to get like even sized macarons. And also I'm using a piping bag with a small tip nozzle. I think it's around a centimeter wide nozzle. Also you will need a stand mixer or a hand mixer to beat your egg whites and sugar. Now to begin with, take your ground almonds along with your icing sugar and sieve them really well. Now this is very important so that you don't have lumps of icing sugar in your macarons, or else the texture will be really bad. So make sure you sieve it really well. Now give this a good stir so that your ground almonds and icing sugar are combined really well. So now we're going to make a meringue out of egg whites and castor sugar. Basically a meringue is when you beat egg whites and castor sugar together until they're thick and glossy. So we're going to do that, and this method is the French method, that is why it's called the French macaron. Put in all your egg whites in your mixing bowl. Now you want to beat this with just a little bit of your castor sugar in the beginning, just about 1 to 2 tablespoons. And we're doing this is so that your sugar doesn't clump up at the bottom of the mixing bowl. So just start whisking your egg white and castor sugar. As you can see that the amount of egg white is really less in my mixing bowl, so it's not doing much. So, but I've made sure that the 2 tablespoons of castor sugar is at least mixed well. And now I'm going to add the remaining sugar and start whipping the egg whites. Now I've whisked my egg whites and castor sugar, and now I've formed the French meringue. So you can see it's nice and thick and it's forming nice peaks. You know it's ready when it's nice, thick and glossy, and it also forms peak when you lift your whisk on top. Now in case you do not have a mixer or a hand mixer, you can use just a normal whisk like this. But it might take a little more time to beat your egg whites and get it to this stage. Now add in half of your ground almond and icing sugar mixture to your egg whites and castor sugar mixture. So now make sure that you mix this really quick, like don't over mix it, otherwise your entire mixture will just collapse. So if you're doing it on the machine, make sure you just switch on the machine for like a couple of seconds and that's it. And if you're doing it with a spatula, just lightly fold it through. Now as you can see, it's just roughly mixed. It's not mixed all together, but that's completely okay. We will mix it when we add the remaining mixture of the icing sugar and ground almonds. Now mix in your remaining ground almonds and icing sugar to your egg white mixture. Now the key to this is do not over mix the mixture. If you over mix the mixture, you will not have good macarons. They won't rise properly, they'll just spread. Now add in your remaining icing sugar and ground almond mixture. And now you're going to fold this through. Do not vigorously mix it, just nicely fold it through. Like as you can see, now the mixture has loosened up, and when I lift it from my spatula, it forms like a ribbon consistency. It's falling really smoothly. So now we're going to pipe the macaron mixture. So I'm just taking a piping bag. Now if you cannot hold your piping bag in one hand and put your mixture in another hand, you can just use a tall jar or a glass. And what you do is, since you've put your nozzle in, now if you're using a disposable piping bag, do not cut off the tip in the beginning so that you do not spill your mixture from the nozzle. But if you are using a nozzle, just twist the end of your piping bag and push it through the nozzle so that you just block your nozzle and your mixture doesn't spill out while filling the piping bag. Just put it in any jar or a tall glass and just fold over the top, and then you can easily pour in your mixture. And pipe. Do not pipe all the way to the size that you want, because they tend to spread when you tap the tray. So I've just piped all my macarons on my sheet. Now another good tip to make sure that your macarons are really done well and they come out really nice, make sure after piping it you give it a good tap, like 2-3 times on the bench, so that all your air pockets from the macarons just go and they do not crack. Now once you tap your tray and make sure that all the air bubbles are out, and if you still see a little bit of air bubbles anywhere, just use like a toothpick and prick into them so that the air bubbles are released. Otherwise your macarons will crack. Now you will leave this tray out for around 10 to 15 minutes so that they're completely dry from the top. They need to dry before they go to the oven. You cannot just directly put them in. Now when I say dry, that means it forms like a crust on top, and when you touch it you do not get any mixture on your finger, and that time you know that they're ready to go in the oven. Now you bake them at a really low temperature because they color really quickly and they tend to burn if you cook them at higher temperature. So you cook them at around 120, 130 for like 10 to 15 minutes. Leave them on the countertop for like 10 to 15 minutes and then put them for baking at 120 degrees for 10 minutes. So the macarons are freshly baked from the oven. It took about 15 minutes at 120 degrees. I faced a little problem while drying them out because it's been raining all day and the weather is really humid and moist. They were not drying out when I just left them on the tabletop. So I put them underneath the oven. Like I have a drawer underneath the oven which heats up and is quite dry when it's preheating, so I put it there. So in case you live in a place where the weather is really humid and moist, just put your macarons in a place where it's warm and dry, and they will dry instantly. It just took like 5 to 7 minutes to dry when I put it in the drawer there. So as you can see, the top of the macaron is really nice and even, and that is because we tapped it really well before we put it in the oven or before we let them dry, and hence there's no cracks or anything. And you can see the edges, it's got a lovely foot that shows that it is risen well and it's a lovely macaron. So I filled these macarons with ganache. Usually you fill them with buttercream or chocolate icing. I've opted for ganache, and I've just filled them on one side, just put a dollop on every macaron on one side and left the other one empty. So then I will just sandwich it like that, and then it's ready to eat. So I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe and do give it a try. It's a very simple recipe and I'm sure you all will like it. And if you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up and do subscribe to our channel, The Baking with the Vanilla Pod. Do follow us on our social media, Instagram and Facebook. And until next time, happy baking. Click the notification bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.